This is the Investor Connect podcast program. I'm Hall T. Martin. I'm the host of this show in which we interview angel investors, venture capital, family offices, private equity, and many other investors for early stage and growth companies. I hope you enjoy this episode. Well, hello, this is Hall Martin with Investor Connect. Today I'm here with Robert Davidson, CEO of Cure Pharmaceutical. Cure Pharmaceutical is an innovative drug delivery and development company committed to improving drug efficacy, safety, and the patient experience through its proprietary drug dosage forms and delivery systems. Cure has an industry-leading full-service GMP manufacturing facility and is a preeminent developer and manufacturer of a patented proprietary delivery system, Cure Film, the most advanced oral thin film on the market today. Cure has developed an array of products and cutting-edge delivery platforms and partners with leading pharmaceutical companies. Cure has positioned itself to advance numerous therapeutic categories, including the pharmaceutical cannabis sector with partnerships in the U.S., Canada, Israel, and Germany, among other markets. Robert, thank you for joining us.
Hey, thank you for having me today.
Great. So what was your background before joining Cure Pharmaceutical? What did you do before this?
So my background, academic background's in biological sciences and in undergrad and graduate school, basically epidemiology, infectious disease, public health. Probably a good arena to be in now with the pandemic. As you probably can, as far as epidemiology. But started 6 different companies back about 25 years ago. I had my first foray into the really drug delivery, pharmaceutical, OTC world. Built the company up and sold it. So just been really a serial entrepreneur, mainly in the science space, and building companies up, the technology, and trying to really create better patient experiences with each company.
And why did you choose this particular space to start work in?
That's a good question. I think I saw an unmet need within the industry. Pills, taking pills for drug actives or nutraceuticals have been around for quite some time. A pretty antiquated way of taking medications, obviously. It goes to the gut. You probably know the old adage that you take vitamins and a lot of vitamins don't get absorbed. A lot of medicines go through first pass degradation in the stomach and the liver. It's just not the best approach to taking medicine. So I think there's a better way, and that's what we set out to do.
Great. And so what's your advice for people investing in this space? What do you tell them to do before they write that first check?
I think looking at the IP, looking at what the what the goal of the company is, and is it truly a platform technology? Platform technologies really allow you to, take multiple shots on goal and have less risk because you can play in many areas. And let me explain that a little bit. As a platform technology, we have the ability really to take an active and put it into almost any category. We could play in the pharmaceutical space. We could play in the pet space, right? Think about animals, giving dogs and cats pills. Our technology is the oral thin film. Are you familiar with that, the thin film technology at all?
Yes.
Very similar to like a Listerine strip, only obviously a little more technical. You could put drug actives in there. You could stabilize it. So the ability to put medications in a dose form like a thin film that is mucoadhesive. It could taste like peanut butter or bacon. For dogs, obviously. I mean, maybe some humans would like the bacon flavor, but being able to put that thin film in a dog's mouth or a cat's mouth and really, have a mucoadhesive approach where they can't spit it out and it definitely getting the dose is such a beneficial way of treating the dog or cat.
Well, that's great. Well, let's talk about the sector. How do you see the industry evolving from here?
I think more and more companies are looking at novel ways of delivering drug actives. There's many, great new chemical entities coming to the forefront. However, there's issues with how do you deliver it effectively. A lot of these actives have low bioavailability. They're not very, they're not soluble. So, they're not getting into the body the way they should be. They're not getting absorbed the way they should be. So companies are looking at novel ways of delivering it. And, with our thin film technology, we have integrated encapsulation technology, really protecting the active, encapsulating the active within the thin film matrix. Permeation enhances, really increasing how to get the drug active into the oral mucosa, or the stomach, or sublingual. So we could do it many ways, but we have many tricks to the trade with a very broad platform polymer science that we utilize in the thin film technology.
And what is the growth rate of this sector? How fast is it moving?
It's moving fast. It's it's estimated over the next 5 years to be a multi-billion-dollar market just on the thin film side. Drug delivery itself is exponentially growing as well. I don't have the exact numbers, but pretty significant.
Great. And how many companies are engaged in it today?
There's only a handful. That's what's beautiful about being at the ground floor of a new technology. There's that little trick of the trade of not being too early, right? Not too early to the party, but being there right at the right time and when it's starting to really create critical mass in the industry. And I think that's where we're at. I think we're lucky to be in a position we're in. We started the company with a social impact initiative. I think that's kept us going. That social impact initiative being getting delivery of medications to third world countries more efficiently, to patients more efficiently, having a more effective approach to drug dosing. So.
Great. And so what are the challenges in the space, both technologically and with the market? What do you have to overcome to succeed?
Yeah, that's a great question. Technologically, there was quite a challenge in just being able to take something you can create in a lab. It's always great. You created this great product in a lab, but now when you want to do it for tens of thousands or millions of people, you have to have scalability, right? So really creating that approach, that manufacturing process to scale it and to be able to commercialize it, that was a big challenge for us. That took us 5 years. That was no small task. We had to co-design the equipment and engineer the equipment because there was no equipment that could actually cure the polymers and the matrix that we use for thin film. So we had to create that, and that took quite some time. That's one of the challenges. I think the other challenge is being a novel delivery system. You have to educate the key influences in the marketplace, like doctors, insurance companies, about why this is a better way to deliver drug actives. And then you got the regulatory hurdles. When you have a novel delivery technology, like the FDA as a regulatory agency, they don't really know much about it. So they're learning as you're building your company and going through the regulatory process. So there could be very unique challenges just in that itself. But we've been able to navigate that pretty good.
Great. And how does Cure Pharmaceutical fit into the landscape? Where exactly are you positioned?
So we're positioned, because we have a broad platform technology, it allows us to play in multiple verticals. The verticals that we do play on is the pharmaceutical side. We do look at a lot of actives that are out in the marketplace that have already been approved as a drug, but really need help in how it's being delivered. So we have a short path to regulatory approval, or a shorter path, I should say. And that's called 505(b)(2) pathway, which is really nice because the risk is so much less, taking a drug that's already been approved, has the toxicological data, has the indication, efficacy data, taking it and putting it in a novel delivery system. You have to do a couple of studies. It's not major safety studies and efficacy studies because it's already been proven. But what you do have to show is that you're delivering it either more effectively or as effective in the blood. And that's what we set out to do. So the nice thing about it, like I said, we play in the pharma space. We do play in the wellness space as well. Nutraceuticals, delivering those more effectively. And then again, the veterinarian space. We look to partner with pharmaceutical companies and cross-license deals, distribution deals, and so forth.
Great. And so why did Cure Pharmaceutical acquire Sera Labs last year?
So Sera Labs are a very exciting acquisition for us. Because we do play in a wellness space, we really didn't want to have to rely on educating the public, the consumer, about this new novel delivery system through other companies, right? Relying on other brands. So we decided to really capitalize on the fact that Sera Labs built out this D2C, direct-to-consumer distribution channel with a kind of a telehealth spin on it, where you can get information out to that consumer. You can create membership programs with the consumer. You can actually give them the information that they're looking for on their health and actually offer a solution to that, right? Like the thin film technology, delivering we have a once a week vitamin D3 dose. You take it once a week, you're getting the vitamin D for the rest of the week, and you don't have to worry about it again. So those types of delivery systems and products to the consumers, because consumers are more health conscious. So we want to take advantage of that.
So what's the future of drug delivery, and why is that a great place for investors to put their money?
Well, that's a great question because all new drugs have to be delivered some way. And, with the increasing population of 7.8 billion, individuals, it's very difficult to get injectables, distributed. Liquids are logistically a nightmare. The way we developed our thin film technology to make it lightweight, small packaging, small footprint, sustainable, scalable, and a very easy drug, delivery to distribute. The other key thing about drugs, if you think about it, personalized medicine is growing fast. If you look at personalized medicine, thin film's the best way to do that. And why do I say that? Because not all dose sizes fit every size or every, individual's weight, right? Really, drugs should be delivered based on weight, based on, body size, because of your physiology acts differently. So not every, like a 100-pound patient shouldn't be taking the same dose a 200-pound patients take. And that's just obvious, right? I think from a science standpoint. So thin film allows you to really personalize that. You can take a thin film, cut it directly in half, and you have exactly the half amount of that active on the thin film. So you can titrate it, if you will, titrating the dose. And that's really key for drug delivery and just pharmaceuticals in general. That's the direction of the whole pharmaceutical market, is going into more of a personalized medicine approach.
Well, great. Well, during the COVID pandemic, it seemed like it took all the oxygen out of the air for COVID vaccines and antigens. How did the non-COVID biotech companies do?
Yeah, it had some effect on I think everybody's business, as far as even the market valuations, and the stock market took a big hit unless you were working directly on the COVID indication itself. But I think overall they bounced back, as you know. I think it's realized now that how important just health in general is. I think you see consumers and patients taking control of their health more and really being conscious of it. So I think you're going to see an uptick in wellness companies, as well as pharmaceutical companies, biotech companies that are looking for ways to protect the immune system and ways to deliver medications safer. And you talked about vaccines, very interesting. There is a potential down the path of creating oral vaccines for some of these, potential viruses. And, a thin film has great potential in that area, I believe.
Well, great. Well, in the last few minutes that we have here, what else should we cover that we haven't?
Well, I think we talked a little bit about, I think you mentioned early in the introduction that Cure has a patent on its delivery system. We actually have over 17 patents issued and almost, I believe, 27 pending. And it's not just on the actual dose form. It's actually on how we encapsulate the active and how we protect the active from degrading, how we protect it from a stability standpoint, right? You want a 2-year shelf life on medicine. You don't want something that you buy tomorrow, is gone in a month. So making sure it's stable. We have flavor technologies, and then time release, cross-binding and time release technologies that allow us to deliver drugs, more effectively to the body. If you have pain, you want to get rid of it immediately, which we can do, but you also want it to last long, the effectiveness of the medication. You don't want to have to take that medication every 4 hours. So there's just some unique things that we have patented, and we're growing that IP portfolio quite a bit. And I think, you'll see some additional news, and some, license deals and a lot of progress in the area in the next 6 months.
Great. Well, how best for listeners to get back in touch with you?
I think the best way is probably my personal LinkedIn. I'm definitely a fan of LinkedIn, a great way to connect and network. So that to me is the best way.
Great. We'll put that in the show notes. Want to thank you for joining us today and hope to have you back for a follow-up soon.
Perfect. Thank you for having me today.
Investor Connect helps investors interested in startup funding. In this podcast series, experienced investors share their experience and advice. You can learn more at investorconnect.org. Paul T. Martin is the director of Investor Connect, which is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to the education of investors for early stage funding. All opinions expressed by Hall and podcast guests are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinion of Investor Connect. This podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon as a basis for investment decisions.